I guess I'm starting these videos because I see all these Appalachian horror videos, but so many people don't address the actual truth of what's actually going on out there in the woods. Growing up, my grandfather, he was a man that served in the Army, and he was at D-Day at Utah Beach. My grandmother was a little bit more well off, but very country, very from the woods. My grandfather grew up in a log cabin, dirt floors, and he left around 11 or 12 years old to make his way in the world. On the way out is a story where he recalls seeing a buffalo, or some shit like that. He made it out. He met up with his brothers, and they ran shine. And that's what they could do at the time. They ran shine. They got in trouble. They tried to bring in a big load of sugar on a train and got in trouble. Two of his brothers took the fall and went to prison. He went on later to try to start a grocery store in a small town in rural Virginia, southwest Virginia. But he later went on to the military, went into the Army, and ended up being on the front lines in Normandy, Utah Beach, D-Day. And he stormed the beaches in Utah Beach, worked his way through, all the way through the entire campaign until they were done with Europe. Growing up, this man didn't talk about any of his experiences, and I learned a lot from his wife, from my grandma. She was an amazing cook. There were certain things that she was a stickler about. You see these videos, these AI voice videos talking about Appalachia and don't open the curtains, don't look outside, all this shit like that. But she did have some things where she would close all the curtains on the back side of the house where the woods were. She would tell us all the birch trees back there, it's almost like they glowed at night, the moonlight reflecting off the bark. She would tell us that they house the spirits of Native Americans, of Indians, but not to look at them and be respectful to them, to the trees. Anyway, my grandfather did talk about things he saw when he left that cabin when he was 12 years old. And I guess it's what people refer to as skinwalkers. But I think they leave a lot of details out of the religious beliefs or just embarrassment. And his experience with skinwalkers was he heard things, and he heard his name, and he heard people calling him in the woods. But he encountered skinwalkers. Somebody called them. He called them something else, but I can't remember. But these things that would take form of other things, whether it was a deer or a man or whatever, never looked right, never sounded right. made the hair stand up on the back of his neck. And he would run, but he could never run fast enough. And these things would pop out from a tree. And it sounds crazy, but they would touch his penis. Not in a rough way, but almost looking him in the eyes like they were saying, hey, are you alright with this? Are you cool with this? And he said he was. He said he was terrified, but what choice did he have? And he said it was different, like they couldn't take his clothes off or anything, but he said it was like getting a hand job from like when you first hook up with a girl and she doesn't know what she's doing and it's just tugging on the skin, and you don't really have the gall to say, hey, look, go easy. He said it was rough, it pulled on him a lot. There was no pleasure and it didn't seem sensual or anything, and then it was gone, and then he was hiking with a shaved penis. Apparently this happened to him 3 or 4 times. They said it was always the same thing. It's like it was all they could think about. Other than that, he did see some lights in the woods. He did tell us that don't look out the windows at night and don't walk in the woods at night unless that's what you're like into. So there's a lot of tales, but from my experience and what I've heard from people that really lived it, there's a lot more to it. And it's just something to keep in mind. I haven't heard a lot of this on YouTube or the internet or whatever, but just be careful.